Okay, can I?
Yes, go ahead. I think it's recording now.
Okay, good. So, so this is the EDGE4DPS. This is a system which can be included into Arrowhead, okay? Which basically has the functionality of supporting the distribution of softwares, basically the deployment of software over a distributed systems. Okay, what it provides is a runtime API, so you can do this during runtime. That's the main difference for the tools that we already have from IETF for system management, if I'm not wrong. Okay. And it basically simplifies the deployment process by simply saying deploy this service, and it will deploy and register itself on Arrowhead and establish all kinds of connections. Okay. It is capable of supporting multiple kinds of systems and services. So we have many systems which are supported by x86 hardware, many by ARM, others by other technologies. Others are only basically supported like Arduino stuff. We intend to support all those different kinds of architectures and a set of operating systems that are able to run these services. Okay, one of the objectives is to be easy to scale and to add new nodes to the systems. Okay? So basically, what we have now in Arrowhead is prior to runtime management tool. Okay, that you are able to do that with a graphical interface, or you can install your services by hand wherever you want. Okay, what we want is to develop a tool to do that during runtime. Okay, which can be added to the Arrowhead management tool, for instance. There's no problem with that. And for instance, for the translation services, when the translation service is generated, as it is the case of the tag that is being worked off by our Portuguese partners, it will be able to instantiate and to deploy that translator to a node. Okay. This can also be able to support other features like the parallelization of services, over-the-air updates, and many other things that we don't see at the time, probably. Okay, so this is basically the motivation, okay, for this work, where I will try to be as brief as possible. Here you have a temperature sensor that is registered into Arrowhead that produces temperature in Fahrenheit. There's an AC actuator that tries also to get the temperature, but in another set of in another scale, for instance. Okay, and you need to they talk a different semantic protocol, and you need to create a translator for this. Okay, so this is the basic motivation for this work, which is the work that is being done by our partners from Uninova in Portugal. Okay, so we devised a system which we call EDGE4DPS. Okay, that is able to make this deployment. This is based on Kubernetes. And basically we start by registering the EDGE4DPS onto Arrowhead. Okay. At the same time, the tag generates a specific translator. We assume that the producer and consumer services already exist somewhere in the Arrowhead network. Okay. Then it is the the tag that asks the orchestration for the EDGE4DPS service to instantiate, to make the deployment of the translator. Okay. The orchestrator returns the endpoint of the EDGE4DPS API. After that, it's easy as sending a command to the EDGE4DPS to make the deployment of the translator in a node. Okay. After this point, the EDGE4DPS will send a command to Kubernetes. We are using K3S implementation of Kubernetes to deploy the translator. Okay. It will decide where to put this translator, or this can be specified in a specific node. Okay. And after that, if the service exists locally, okay, you have two possibilities. Okay, either it exists locally or it is located on Docker Hub. Okay, the Kubernetes selects the nodes that will be responsible for running the services and deploys the service on that node, the translator service. Okay? You can also have the other option that you put the service on Docker Hub. That is the responsibility of this system here, okay, or it exists there for some reason, okay, and Docker, the EDGE4DPS selects the node, goes to Docker Hub and tries to find an image of the service that we want to install. After this, the translator is registered himself in the Arrowhead service. That's one of the things which I have some doubts if should be the translator to register himself or some other node. I think that the best solution is for the translator to register himself. After that, when a producer and a consumer, basically it was a consumer that asked for the service, after this process, okay, it can establish now a connection with the translator, and by itself, the translator also established a connection with the producer, and so they can start talking about. Okay, so basically, the work is going quite fast. Okay, we already have an API for this to make a login and register of the persons that are able to use the EDGE4DPS. Okay, eventually this can be integrated with other services from Arrowhead. Okay, we have to see that later. Okay, we have the image service that is able to deploy the images by sending the file. Okay, and the deploy service, okay, that makes the deployment of the image in a specific node. Okay, so basically this is what we have on the EDGE4DPS. I will just talk about another thing that we have developed and that we are trying now to develop further. Okay, that is a middleware protocol translator that basically is another system that takes care of translating different protocols. Okay, only the protocols, not at syntactic level. Okay, like the DTAG does, is basically works at syntactic level. We are working here between different protocols. If we have Kafka and MQTT, it basically connects both middlewares without needing to use specific tools that sometimes don't offer the same performance as this kind of tools that we are trying to develop work. So this is another thing, but I would like to ask for your opinion, because I saw some of these things being developed also by BME and IETIA, okay, to see if we can integrate this work into what they are doing, or just follow our line of work. Okay. This is more or less our timeline for this. We expect to have the API ready by the end of March. Okay, but according to the speed that Bernardo is developing these things, I think it will be ready before that. Okay. Then the infrastructure of Kubernetes and IoT, there are a few things that need to be worked on here, like installing services in Arduino platforms, for instance, and then a set of integration and tests, okay, by May 2024. The middleware translator is already working with some limitations, but we hope to have an improved version by June 2024. Okay, thank you all. Okay, I've done during my presentation a few questions. Maybe some of you can answer me. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Luis. Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions or see alignment of the work that Luis presented with the work or possible collaborations? No questions? I just have one. You mentioned this tool will be also working with the semantic tool that they are developing at Uninova, or what was the case?
Yes, yes, that's the main motivation. It can work with them, okay, and it can work independently of them, okay. So it can be used after their tool generates a translator to automatically instantiate the translator somewhere in the Arrowhead network. Okay.
Okay. All right.
That's the main idea. It can use Kubernetes, as we are trying to do that, because it's probably safer and you are deploying these things into containers. But you can also do this installation by, I wouldn't say by hand, but by some kind of scripts that puts your application as simple as possible, working in a node. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Does anyone have any questions?
Oh, Sava, what about IETIA and BMA development of these things as a protocol translator?
I don't know the current status, Louis.
Okay.
So, we should probably schedule a meeting with Tomáš Toutfolucci.
Okay. It would be nice to know this. Either we integrate what we are doing into your tools or something like that, or I don't know. Maybe we will talk later how to handle these things. Okay.
Yeah, but I like the idea and the concept, so I'll bring that up with them.
Okay. I had some doubts here about this login and register service. If we can use any other service of Arrowhead to do this registration of persons and authentication. So the first one in this.
Is this for people or devices? That wasn't clear to me.
This is for, it can be for people or devices. Someone that has a login to basically, Bernardo, I think that you are here. This login is for Kubernetes, right?
It's basically so that unauthorized people can't access the API, so can't deploy. Everyone can't deploy, so just authorized people can. It's use a JWT token too, so it has like a session, just as in websites, the authentication works. So we can extend the authentication. In the first login, we get the JWT token, so we can use like for 1 hour without having to log in again. But it's just to prevent unauthorized access.
Yes, if there is something similar in Arrowhead, we didn't search because this was already 80% implemented. Okay, but if there is something similar, maybe you can use it. Okay.
The Arrowhead management tool, for example, uses a mutual TLS certificate. So it's not OAuth2 or anything like that.
Not really sure, but we will take a look and see this a little bit better. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Luis. Let me share my screen and go back to the agenda. The agenda. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. The first point in the agenda is in relation to the Eclipse Arrowhead 5.0 roadmap. And it seems like there's no news this time. I don't know if someone could provide some information about this.
Hello, Raimund here. So we have no roadmap meeting scheduled because the last one is cancelled, and since then there is no new point. It's up to Jerker. And about the documentation, the last thing that happened that the Synetic people, Per and Emmanuel, create some draft in about the IDDs of the Arrowhead 5.0 systems, the mandatory ones, the service registry authorization and service orchestration, and he put them into the GitHub, the roadmap GitHub, and you can see there and comment there. There are issues opened for every documentation. And the next roadmap meeting will be talk about these IDDs. So, but I don't know the next meeting.
Okay, I'm just taking notes. Okay, I make sure that Paul and Jerker receive this to organize a new meeting. See, there is no schedule for the next roadmap meeting.
No. The last one is cancelled at the last point because I don't know, Jerker forgets it, basically.
Okay.
Paul mentioned Jerker was in a taxi when the meeting was started, should have started.
Okay.
And
Okay. All right, I'll get this message to them. Okay. Systems. Okay. Then if we move to the core systems, is Jens in the meeting? Are there any news in relation to the Go version? Okay. What about the resilience and scalability? Is Jan in the meeting? I guess not. All right. In relation to this ESB and CPN and no-red, the news that I have is that there is a researcher is presenting his thesis in May. It is very much related to the workflow management, so I'll keep you informed. Okay. And there is no advancements in the asset administration shell Arrowhead part. So okay, is Olaf in the meeting? So in relation to the power of attorney. Guess no news. What about the NGAC? Alex, Olaf? Okay. What about the automatic reorchestration? Marcus? Ua? Okay, we move on to the updating the adapters and translators. Data models based on semantics. Any of the researchers here? There is something written here about a feature presentation. I don't know if this is scheduled for some time soon. Is there someone in the meeting or just by myself?
Yes, we are in the meeting. Here.
Okay. All right. Okay. It happened to me before. I was talking by myself for 20 minutes and I realized I was by myself. Okay. So there's no one that can confirm this feature presentation. Okay. What about what are you seeing the screen right now? Are you seeing the presentation, the agenda, or are you seeing my notes or
agenda?
The agenda. Okay. All right. We have web package for translators, Arrowhead, FPVN, Cristina, Felipe, Thomas. I guess it's Uninova, Lulea, and ITEA team. Is there anyone that can give some feedback about this? Okay. What about model-based TR, ASMA, SEA? Is there anyone from SEA? Okay. What about artificial intelligence-based TR, Thomas? Any news? Okay, semantic translation Pedro, Felipe? Okay, we have the presentation about the middleware protocol. So we and also Luis presented the schedule, the progress on the work. So
Yes.
okay, thank you. I'll take that note as well. I would suppose the presentation is being recorded, the meeting is being recorded, but probably you will be able to upload the presentation in case someone wants to see it. Is there any problem with that, Luis?
You are asking me if there is any problem of showing the presentation?
Yes, well,
No.
I mean, can you share the presentation?
Yes, I can. Where should I put it?
Good question. Well, I'll ask Paul to ask you.
Yes, I will. Okay. But I'm sending it to Paul and Xavo also because I want them to,
Okay.
if they answered some questions. So I'm already sending that to them. Okay.
Okay, good. Okay. Well, we move on to SysML2. Is Gesa, Jerker, Oysten? Any news? Guess not. OpenCUA adapter, Aparajita. Oh, close to release. Oh, I think it's close to release, but I don't know if is there any news on that on this. Okay, what about set wave adapter, Salman? Okay, Modbus TCP adapter, Oscar? What about the command line tools adapters by feature presentation the 27th of February? This was already, I was not in this meeting.
That was the last time there was this presentation.
Okay, all right, okay. Any news on this?
I don't know. It looks convincing for me about the presentation, but I just was an observer.
Okay, this was Jan Fiedler, right? The presentation.
Yes.
Okay. Arrowhead and artificial intelligence machine learning tool integration. This was by Paul, with the team of Paul, I suppose. Any news from ITIA?
Nothing new. They are working on it, but nothing to report.
Okay. Okay. We move on to the next point in the agenda. Updates on engineering tools. SysML 1.6 profile and core system models. Jerker, also Eclipse Papyrus. Anyone from Lulea? Okay. What about engineering process by Gianvito? model-based engineering, Christina. Okay, web-based SysML, Gesa, Paul. Any news on this? Arrowhead framework installer tool, Tamas, Raymond.
Yes, so we don't have a new minor release in February, but we will do it in March. It's
okay. Okay. Okay, thank you. Raymond, right?
yes.
Okay, thanks. What about AIMS MLOps toolchain concept, Shava? Any news? I think Shava was in the meeting, right?
No, I don't think Java is in the meeting.
Oh,
It's
he
no
was in the
longer on.
meeting.
He was. I see.
Okay, all right. Okay. 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 So CPS MLOps concept and Jenkins toolkit by PAL, by ATIA. Any news on this?
It's doing by the BME, not the ITIA, but
Okay.
I think that there are progress there. We see in the last meeting some kind of Jenkins tool about model, teaching model to recognize images or something like that. So they are working on it.
Okay. What about the AIMS 4.0 artificial intelligence tool? 3 levels. Gergely, Attila, and Daniel. Okay. What about the artificial intelligence gym? Marcus, Stefan? Oh, there was a feature presentation last time, right? Or
there was a feature presentation by Attila Franco last time about the AI gym, but I don't know nothing about Stefan or Marcus. What they are doing. Maybe they are working with Attila, that I don't know.
All right. Okay. Okay, and then we have the GUI to generate certificates. It indicates here a feature presentation. I don't know if this has taken place or is something that we're expecting soon. Christian?
I think this was happened in the past as well. As I remember, there was a feature presentation about this tool.
Okay. No news on this, right? All right, and then we have the updates on training blogs and training tools. Google Blockly, that was a feature presentation as well. This was some time ago, I think. I think this was a long time ago, I think. Okay, and I don't know if you have anything you want to bring up or any comments, any news that we have skipped. Is there any volunteer for the next feature presentation? We mentioned that the data models based on semantics has to have a feature presentation, right? It's Oscar or Jan or someone in the meeting. I can confirm this. Okay, I guess perhaps Paul or Jerker will contact some of you to see if there's a possibility of a feature presentation. I will take note that there was no volunteers at the moment, but just to check for them to check. Okay, any questions, anything you want to bring up? Otherwise, just remind you that the next telco will be March 26 at the same usual time, 3:30. And if you want to add anything, just thank you for joining, and look forward to see you in the next meeting.
Okay, bye-bye. See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.